How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you?
Oh man, I can't complain.
Man, I
You know.
appreciate you, making time to be able to get on here this evening.
Oh man, I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, of course, of course. I guess starting off, I just saw the on the Maryland State website, they postponed sports until 2021.
Yeah, I just actually read it myself.
Okay,
Crazy.
okay. So do the coaches, did y'all find out any further information or that was about it?
Nah, that's about it. That, like I said, like you just read it, I just read it. Like literally just, just saying it. So just trying to be just hopeful,
Yeah,
optimistic.
yeah,
At this point, trying to keep my guys, motivated. Try to, talk to them as much as possible. Make sure they're doing something constructive when they can get in the gym.
right.
Some of them I've had at Montebello Lake with me working out a little
Yeah,
bit. So something is better than nothing, basically, is what I'm telling them. So
right, right. And I seen everything y'all doing on Montebello. I really like that. That's great that you get to have some of your players out there keep them in shape.
yeah, it's good, man. It's a good vibe. So it's a good feel with some good people. So
Yeah, facts,
it's pretty
facts.
good.
So I guess starting with your basketball history, where did you play basketball growing up?
Um, Most of my basketball was played in East Baltimore. Outside, I grew up playing outside. Back then, the era I grew up in, we kept busy by playing ball. It kept us out of trouble,
Hmm.
kept us out of the street, kept us safe, so kept us busy. Um, I grew up, in the heart of East Baltimore, Preston Street, uh, up the hill, down the hill, what they call it, Monument Street, Bocheck, Patterson Park, Goldilocks. Um, my father lived west, so I did, when I went to visit my father, got to play over Cloverdale.
Okay.
Played some at Lyndhurst. Just anywhere I could get some bump, man. I played. So it was pretty good. That era I came up in was strong. So it was competitive. So it kind of molded me as far as
Yeah.
basketball is concerned.
Did you play with any of like the Rex?
Yeah, I played with Oliver Reck. I
Okay.
played in my neighborhood, which was like I said, up on Huffman Street, Huffman, Linwood, Kenwood, what we call a Valley. Um, at Fort Worthington Rec. But as I got a little older and progressed, I took my talents on down to Oliver, played with Bucky Lee. So, and then I kind of turned the corner a little bit. So, spent a lot of my years playing at Oliver and Chick Webb
Okay.
as I got older.
Okay. Okay. What was it like? I'm sure a lot of the guys you played with back then or played against, y'all end up having some battles in high school too.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Not even just high school. It's neighborhoods, like my neighborhood against your neighborhood.
Yeah.
We know where y'all play. Y'all bring y'all five, and it was real competitive, but it was good. It kept us all sharp, talking to guys nowadays that I grew up playing with and against. You realize how important that was and how fun it was because we were so competitive, but
Yeah.
we actually made each other a lot better.
That's what's up.
So,
That's what's
yeah.
up. Going into high school, were you at City all 4 years?
No,
Okay.
I actually, man, I was in trouble in middle school a
Okay.
lot. So I ended up at Patterson
Okay.
and wasn't able to play my first year. I played my sophomore and junior year. Um, my sophomore year, I made varsity, but I didn't think I was gonna play a lot, so I sort of made a judgment call and stayed on JV. But
Okay.
long story short, I played my junior year. We always had talent. I didn't think the coach didn't let us, didn't always utilize it the best. So I was on my way to Dunbar, transferring and going to Dunbar. My cousins had went to Dunbar. My what I call my big homies, Billy Wells and Roderick Harrison, and they set me up with a meeting with Paul Smith, and I was all set to transfer, and then he got fired before the
Thank
season started. So Daryl Wade reached out to me and asked me, said, I could really use you at City. Um,
Okay.
if I can get you in up here, will you come? And he got me in, and the rest was history. So I ended up at City my senior year.
Yeah, state championship run, right?
Yeah, we actually lost in the Final Four that year, my senior
Okay.
year. We made it
Okay.
down there, and we lost to Surrattsville. But I
Okay.
mean, we had a good run, good season, good experience. So
Yeah.
no regrets at all.
I was reading up on that game, and it was just like y'all just wasn't that day for y'all.
Yeah, that's what it was. Well, aside from me, the basket had a lid on it for everybody else. But
I saw
you
I
know,
saw that.
yeah, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. So after your senior year, what was your recruitment process like? I guess your entire senior year before that.
Man, to be honest, I had a couple mid majors, nothing big. I mean, I had the locals. I had Morgan, small schools like Quinnipiac. I honestly was talking with Coach Wade at the time. We had decided JUCO might be the best
Hmm.
route for me to go. So he was working out something, and we were trying to work out something at Kilgore JUCO in Texas,
Okay.
and it sort of fell through. And then we reached back out to Morgan, but they, you know, sort of continued recruiting. So I actually ended up at Catonsville Community
Yeah.
College,
Yeah.
for a year, and but we had some success there. The coach was good. He was a little old guy. Um, I actually still hold a 3-point record there for most threes in a season,
That's tough. That's
and I
tough.
broke that. Yeah, so it still stands. So, and from there, I played one year. I set out the next year, and my coach left and went to Bowie. So I ended up at Bowie State with him. So
Yeah. That was a good connection to have.
yeah, it sort of worked out because he had all of us at Catonsville, and
Yeah.
he let us know that he was leaving, and the opportunities would be there. So he sort of brought us all along, free scholarship. A guy that we could depend on outside of basketball that would look out for us. So it was a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah. And at Bowie, y'all had some good team. You had some good players that you played with at Bowie. Like
Yeah,
you had some loaded teams when you was there.
yeah. We actually made a lot of history at Boyd. When we went my sophomore year, I got there. The men's team hadn't had a winning record in like 30 years.
I see. Yeah, it's like
So
it
we
went
had our
back to
first.
the 70s.
Yeah, so we won the first winning season. We were like 19-9 and 21 and something the next year. My senior year, we won the first CIAA championship. We lost in the Division II Final Four. We went 31-4. Um, great year, great run. Like one game away from a Division II national championship. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but
What
I played with a lot of good guys, man. Loaded, like you said, loaded team, good guys.
what were some of your best memories at Bowie State?
Oh man, everything about it. I tell anybody if I could relive any part of my life, it's college. Um, when we got there, it was like, everybody embraced us. Like we heard y'all supposed to be good. It was like the whole campus from the students to the staff, everybody. And it was like all eyes on us. So, it was something, basketball is something, how we love to do. So it didn't feel like pressure. It was like, whoa, like they can't wait to see us. So everything was love down there, man, on and off the
Yeah,
court. Yeah, we had great support. Um, it was great. The whole atmosphere of the school changed when we were there. Like those 3 years were some of the best years of my life, honestly.
were you there at the same time as Randy Gill, White Chocolate? Were you teammates with
hmm
him? Okay,
Yeah, my first year, me and Chocolate were roommates my first year,
okay,
and I actually had just missed playing against him when I was at Catonsville. He was at PG, but he had set out.
okay, okay.
But we ended up at Bowie at the same year. We were roommates. Funny guy, man. Man,
Definitely a funny.
that man can shoot the ball for hours, and a lot of days after 3 hour practices we spent in the gym 1-on-1 shooting the ball. So still talk to him often. Like you said, man,
Okay,
that basketball help you build great relationships. So we talk often. It's like a brother of mine. I done brought him up to Baltimore to stay with me, and I took him around in my hood to play somebody 1-on-1 for some money.
yeah,
He'll tell you the stories if you talk to him. So it's it was all love, man.
yeah. That is love, building those relationships like that last forever.
Definitely.
When y'all made the Division II national run, what who did y'all lose to in that game?
We lost to Kentucky Wesleyan.
Okay.
And later on down the line, they gave us the win because they had the two best players on that team were ineligible, actually.
Mm.
So, but we couldn't go back and play the game over them,
Right,
of course.
right, right.
They ended up losing in the championship that year, but they were a really good team. And we went back and forth with them the game, and then they sort of broke it open late in the second half. So, you know.
Okay. Okay. After Bowie, how did you stay involved with basketball after you graduated?
Well, after I graduated, I actually went overseas to play ball in Germany.
Okay.
Um, one of my teammates had a friend in Germany playing and had contacted his agent. So my coach sent some, game film, and when the agent called back, he inquired about me. So um, he basically told my coach if he could get me over there, he would be able to find me a team. It would be easier. So like I said, my coach was a good guy.
Mm.
He made sure he went in his own pocket and got me a ticket and got me over there. And within a
That's what's
month, the
up.
agent found me a team. And I spent maybe 6 years playing
Okay.
in Germany.
All right. What was
Yeah.
that experience like playing internationally?
Man, it was great because it was when you play ball, man, that's always our dream to play on some level of professional basketball. So,
Mm.
um, but I consider myself an educated, open-minded person. So to be able to use basketball to travel the world and engulf in another culture, see how
Yeah.
people live, make friends across the world. It was great, and it was the same, man. I was embraced in the town I played in. A lot of good people. I did school visits with kids. They would let me go to gym class and do basketball stuff with the kids. I did like the younger basketball teams they had there. I would go for practice. They would let me work out. The younger kids would want to work out with me. They want you to sign their hats and their shoes and autographs after the game. So
Yeah.
it was love, and the competition was good. I played well. I had success. I made a little bit of money. So
Mm.
what more can you ask for?
Yeah. You can't beat that. You can't beat that at all.
Nah, man, not at all. Not when you're a real hooper, and that's what you shooting for. So
Hmm. Were
good
you
time.
did so all 6 years were in Germany, or did you play in other countries as well?
Nope, same
Okay.
country, man.
Okay.
Up until my last year, I played with the same team actually.
Mm.
Um, and it was just a matter of that last year was like, we've reached. They were honest with me, let me know they reached the max that they could pay,
Mm.
and didn't want to try to hold me, and wanted to give me the opportunity to, venture out. Another team reached out, and I just decided to play my last year in another town that wasn't too far away.
Okay.
But nevertheless, like I said, good experience. You know, good
Yeah.
memories, good experience.
That's respect that you got to play, 5 years with the same organization, because you hear about a lot of guys playing overseas, like they bounce around basically every season they put a new team in a new city.
Yeah, but like back then, guys weren't getting paid the money that they're getting paid now. And like I was,
Okay,
I was playing on second, third division level. So, but
okay, okay.
like I said, I had no worries. I had no kids at the time. I had no bills. It was decent money to be playing basketball coming straight out of college. So, I mean, it was good for me. It
Yeah,
worked. And like,
yeah, that's facts. So
yeah,
how did the opportunity come back to go coach at your alma mater?
um, my high school coach and my mentor, Daryl Wade. Um,
Okay,
when I actually was gonna, he was at when I left to go play overseas. He was at Mervo at the time. He
okay,
had went back to Mervo, um, and I was gonna coach with him. But like literally, as I got to start working the kids out and training them, conditioning, my call came, my passport came, and I was gone. So when I came back, um, he called me. He said, "Look, I got the call. I'm going back up city. I want you to go with me."
okay.
And we sat down with the principal, Miss Harcum, who was an English teacher at the time when I was at school, and Coach Petrides, who was the athletic director at the time. These are all people that I know. So it
Mm,
was a great meeting, and it was understood that when Coach Wade decided to step down, they would probably give me an opportunity as the varsity coach. So I spent my first 6 years coaching JV with him and being his assistant on varsity. So definitely learned a lot from him during that time.
So when that time came, were you excited? Did you have any nervousness about taking over the program?
I did, because it didn't necessarily happen how me and him planned it
Oh,
or envisioned it. So it was sort of like spare the moment. Um, but at that time, I had a group of seniors that we had had for some years, and they responded to me well.
okay.
Um, Not one of the more talented teams per se on paper that City has had, but they played together. They surprised some people, and we had that first season was great. It was really good. They played. We got a lot of wins that nobody expected. Made some noise, and ended up losing in the playoffs to Poly because that's around that time Poly had started building and becoming a powerhouse. So,
Okay.
but it was a really really good first year for me as a varsity head coach.
Okay. What about your second year? The things started to change around.
Second year I had a lot of transfers, and we would look to be really good. Like on paper, like talent wise, we look good.
Mm.
It didn't all really come together in the beginning, but we got it together like mid season and going into the end and picked it up. Um, but overall, I would say we underachieved, and part of that was my fault, and I take the responsibility. So, but I had some really good kids, really talented kids. And so, like I said, the expectations were high. We just didn't necessarily meet those expectations at that time.
Okay. Okay. And then third year, that third year was your most. That was this past season, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably that's my most winningest season so far. Really good, man. A lot of kids that I know. I had a few more transfers. Kids that I knew that came through Team Thrill AAU program where I helped coach at.
Yeah.
I'm a part of, and my son plays in. So some of those kids went in certain situations, didn't work out. So they reached out to me, let me know they were transferring. I already had good relationships with them. So the basketball side was pretty easy.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
made it easy.
And I was before you hopped on. I was just basically saying like I didn't get a chance to make it to a lot of public school games. They were the earlier games. But I was
Okay.
able to keep up with y'all with through my man Q at One Motion Sports.
Oh
And it's
yeah,
like,
my guy. Yeah.
yeah, that's my guy. We went to school together, so I was just keeping up with y'all through his page, basically. And
Okay.
y'all had a great year. I mean, y'all had a hell of a backcourt. You had a hell of a backcourt.
Yeah, I love. I was a guard, so I had three. I ran a nice three guard offense. I had two tenacious defenders, um, a great shooter, um, and Dominic Carrington, Omarr
Hmm.
Harrison is probably one of one of the better guards in the area. A
Yeah,
city Cavalier. I don't care what league.
yeah,
Does it on both ends. Along with Carell Booker, and it doesn't hurt that Carell and Ahmad are best friends. So, and they really get after it on the defensive end. So those two, along with Carrington, it gave us a nice mix at the
hmm,
guard position. Any other, I gave any of them the privilege to push the ball, to run the plays, set the plays up, let them play on and off the ball, and it worked. It worked for us really well.
yeah. It definitely did. I mean, I was looking up and I would see Q posts like going off for 50, going off for 30 with like 8, 9 threes. Like it was just crazy.
Yeah, Carrington actually reminded me a lot of myself. Um, Real quiet kid, but he also, shoots the ball extremely well off the dribble, off the catch, and but he also gets after it defensively. And the thing about Nick is he likes to guard the ball. Carell and Ahmad like to play, you know, passing lanes, and so
Okay.
the they had this whole the little cohesive unit. They used to say big trust. So between those three, I never really had to worry. I knew they would come
Hmm.
to play. And I knew they would do it on both ends. So it wasn't just one sided. So then we had a couple big men.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clarence. We had Clarence Julie. Kevin Kalu, and Chandler Cutthroat, who was a big but like more like a guard, was versatile inside and out, gave us a lot of flexibility. So it allowed us to do some things, allow us to play a couple different ways. I should say. So
Yeah.
really helped us out during the year.
As a coach, was your players? Are you one of the coaches? I mean, a lot of coaches are, but you make your practices tougher than the game so they're prepared.
Yeah, I try.
Okay.
It's kind of tough because sometimes what I've learned with this generation as opposed to mine is that they get bored sometimes with repetition, with doing the same thing. So you gotta try to be creative with them.
Yeah.
I will say this though. If I put Ahmad on one team and put Carell on the other, even though they're best friends, we'll get a very competitive practice, especially when
Gotcha.
we start to scrimmage. So I figured that out early on, so that worked to our advantage. So it definitely was competitive. I think what helped me as a coach somewhat, it's sort of like a gift and a curse. It's just my opinion as a coach. Um, Playing for my college coach, he was more of a player's coach. My high school coach was more of a disciplinarian, but I was one of the main guys, so I got a lot of freedom.
Okay.
Um, so I'm more of a player's coach. I believe in putting the kid in a position to do what they do best, and then demanding that from them. If they don't do it, then it's a. But if you put them in position to their abilities and let them, put them in position to make plays and make decisions, I think they learn how to play the game better that way.
Got you. And then, like, I think that kind of ties in when you said your first year was you had built relationships. So I guess that's still one of the main keys.
Yeah, that's definitely a key. I don't, since I stopped playing ball professionally, I've been working in the school system, so I deal with kids all day. I have those conversations with my kids. I have them with them as wholes. I have them with my bigs. I have them with my guards. I have them with my bench. And I try to be as transparent as possible because kids see through BS. You
Yeah.
can't BS kids.
Facts.
So, whatever I give to them and they give me back, that's where we are. So, we throw all that out on the table. So we get past that and, let's get up and down the court and play some basketball.
All right. All right. So, like you said, being optimistic here, what are your goals when the season comes back around? What are your goals for the team?
Oh man, the same as they were last season. City championship, state championship. I mean, we setting the bar high. I get a nice core back. I get Harrison back. I get Booker back. I get Kalu back. I got some young guys that have been waiting for their turn, and that's always good because that means they're hungry.
Yeah.
Guys that feel like they should have had more opportunity last year. It's their turn to step up and show. So
Yeah.
then I gotta, even after this group leaves, I'm excited about my young guys. My JV team was pretty good. We made it to the championship. Only lost maybe one or two games all season. So I'm excited about the young guys that I have also that's moving up and can step in and fill some roles the following year. So young but talented.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, like with Omarr Harrison and Carell Booker, I feel like I got arguably the best backcourt in the city. Um, those guys are tough. Those are my guys. Like I have a relationship with them. I talk to them.
Yeah.
I've known their parents for a long time. I know them off the court, on the court. So it's a trust there, and it's some freedom. So that allows them to play, at a high level, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody is. So we asked a question. How you feel about Mervo, New Era, and Lake this past season?
I actually thought I knew going in that and for the first time in a long time, the city schools had a lot of good teams, five or six maybe, and I
Yeah.
was excited about that because with all the kids going, nothing against the private schools and all the county schools, but most kids elect to go private now, which is if they had that opportunity is good for them.
Mhm.
But just for us to have more than one or two good teams in the city, and let alone us be one of them. I know the coach Coach Dansley at Emerson. I know Coach Sam, of course. I know
Mhm.
Coach Tree. Um, New Era was solid. I know the coaches. I have a good relationship with the coaches at Maryville. So believe it or not, man, when we were other than when I was playing against them, I was rooting for them when they were playing outside of the city. I
Yeah.
thought it was only right. I would even I had to play Gilman this year. After we played Maryville, they played Gilman the next day. I went there of course, to scout Gilman, but to also support Maryville. So
Yeah.
just try to but I thought Lake Clifton was really good. New Era surprised some people. I thought they had some transfers and came on strong.
Yeah.
They played us. They played us really tough. They made us work for a win in their gym, so that was really tough. So I thought it was good, man. I thought it was a great year for city basketball overall.
Yeah. And that's something I talked about this with people on here too. What I the Baltimore area, I feel like you said a lot of kids do elect to go private if they had the opportunity. But the
Mm,
balance, especially this year, was amazing. Like I'm from PG, like in that area, your top kids they going private. Like it's a few in public, but everybody go private. The Baltimore area
yeah,
is just like it's a great balance. Like you said, it's a good 5 or 6 teams who are really at the top and made a strong contention to be the best.
right. Um, I think right now it's a lot of talent, so it's spread around.
Yeah, yeah,
I see it like even watching. My son is going to the eighth grade, and just watching that whole group of young kids. It's so many kids. Like everybody can't necessarily go private,
right, right,
so
right.
they're gonna be. It's enough for everybody, so to speak. So that's good for basketball, for
Hmm.
Baltimore basketball across the board, and in my opinion.
Yeah. So what is the how do you like coaching on the AAU circuit? So y'all on the Under Armour circuit with Thrill. How do you like coaching AAU basketball?
Oh man, I love it. Thrill is good. It's great. Good friend of mine, Coach Mookie Donnell Diamonds is the director. Um,
Hmm.
once I started coaching high school and moved up to varsity, one of my parents that used to help me coach, Coach Lawrence, his son played on the team with my son. Me
Okay.
and him talked and decided it was best he take over. So I just assist. I'm just there when high school season is over, when I can make the games. I'm there, but just being a part of that organization is great because we travel together. The kids support one another. But in house, they battle, they compete. But
Hmm.
we like one big family, man, overall. And that's I think that's it's not only good for us as a program, but it's great for the kids. I think they get to see a different side of it. Especially just us being one big unit.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, that organization is great, man, and Mookie does a good job. Like I said, we like one big family, man. So it's definitely good to be a part of that and just be in the mix, with Team Thrill.
hmm. How are you with coaching your son? Is there like a line you got to draw between coach and father, or is just pretty much same across the board?
It is, but it's a line, but it's also taught me some things, and I think as I get older and as he gets older, it gets better. Um, I love his coach. Um, we've become good friends. He treats him like I would. He has him work on the things that I would. He sees. He's getting him prepared for high school.
Yeah,
And that's all I can ask for. He's hard on him, but he praises him when he does well, and he has conversations with me about him. He treats them all the same. So for me, is I got him with the right person. Right now he's convinced that he wants to come to the city, but he's really good in school, and we're going to explore his options. He actually
okay,
worked out with assistant coach from Loyola Blakefield this morning.
okay,
Um,
okay.
so as opportunities come his way, I just try to prepare him on my end the best I can and hope the best for him. So the rest is up to him. But I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that's a good feeling, like to be able to see your son go and do great things.
Oh yeah. That's like that's like me finishing off my career because I stopped early when he was born. So,
Okay.
but I can honestly say at 13 he's better than I was all the way around the board.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
definitely excited to see how he pans out without
You
trying to
think?
put too much pressure on
I was just gonna ask you that. You think
him.
you get a little bit of pressure, like, oh, your dad was a hooper. You think you get some of that?
Yeah, but he has my DNA, so it his time bomb ticks off at times, and I see flashes of myself. But like I said, he's way more well rounded than I was, and he's my
Yeah.
height now. So like I said, man, I'm just excited for him.
Yeah.
Just gonna try to support him the best way I can. Be hard on him when I need to be.
Hmm.
Fall back when I need to, because I've learned that also. So, but it's still, man, it's like you said, man, it's definitely one of the best feelings just to be able to still watch him do something that I love to do and know he loved to do it. And, it brings a different element to our father-son relationship. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I like.
um,
I praise you for that because, like, I got a 2-year-old, and like, I want to be in that same position, like, know when to draw those boundaries, when to go hard on, or when to ease up. So, like, when I
yeah,
see guys like you doing, it's like, all right, it can be done. I know it's gonna be frustrating, but it can be done.
yeah, and shout out to my guy, Coach Tyree Douglas. I know he goes through it with his son. Um,
Okay.
and me and him talk. We all talk, man. It's like basketball is like a big fraternity in town.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and actually, my point guard that I played with at City, Kenny Carter, his son plays with my son. They play together.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
So that's yeah. So man, it's fun. I mean, it's fun to watch them. It's fun to see. It's also we can also share the frustrations when we expect certain things from them. So,
Right.
but it's good, man. It's not like trying to help young men growing into men, coming into their own, using basketball as a tool, with life lessons added in and mixing it in, and just to try to be a part of their journey of them being successful, man, is really what it's all about. That's what you should be in it for. The wins and losses, and, championships and things come along the way. So,
Right. Right.
you know, but
And I
yeah,
think.
man, it's it.
Oh no, I was just going to say,
Go
like,
ahead.
and you in the school system too. Like, I always love it when you can see like coaches in the school system too, because it's like the players know, like, he not just here for us, our basketball journey. He like for life, academics and all that.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, for me, and like I said, I had a great mentor in Daryl Wade and Coach Wade. Um, for us, he always stressed the relationship. It was always big in the basketball. I can remember one of our teammates' father passed, and he was like, "Look, man, we shirt and tie." Gave us a date, and he came and got us out of school, and we went to the funeral. Like, we held each other down. He let us know like those things were important. To be
Yeah,
there for each other outside of. It gave you a different perspective. Like you knew we were there for basketball and we belonged together on the same team. But when somebody had some, family issues or something going on or a loss or something like that, he made sure he had those conversations with us and interacted with us and let us know how important it was, family wise. And so that kind of as we got older, it stuck with us. And me and him have a great relationship. So it definitely went past basketball. So it taught me, when I got in a position, that's how you do. So I call and check on mine. I might say good morning to them, ask them how they doing in the pandemic.
yeah,
How your family doing?
yeah,
If they sick, I make sure I call and check up on them. Those little things, go a long way with your kids when they like, dang, coach called and checked on me. At
right,
least on my end, that's how I feel it should be. It might be something small, but I think it means a lot, and it's something that you should do, make time to do. So, that's the way I was taught. So that's the way I try to preach it. So, hopefully, man, the universe is pleased with what I'm doing, and my former mentors are pleased
yeah, for
while I'm
sure,
moving forward.
for
Yeah,
sure.
still trying to learn, man. Still being willing to learn and try to teach. So that's the main thing. Just try to have fun doing it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if I know every kid appreciate it, but for whatever reason they don't, they definitely gonna look back at it like, nah, I really had somebody in my corner going hard for me.
Yeah, but that's you know, I didn't realize it till I got older and then thought about like, man, like them guys really did this because they wanted to, not for no money, not for no other reason, but because they
Yeah,
must have had a passion for it and love kids. But I love kids, man. I love the game. I love kids. Um, I'm praying, man, that we have a basketball season because I plan
yeah,
on letting me and Omarr Harrison and Carell Booker talk all the time, man. I plan on letting them loose. Like it's their senior year. I got 7 seniors. Like I said, I got some young guys: Michael Leith, Xavier Johnson, some guys that had some potential that sort of just been like sort of in the backyard waiting to come to the front. And it's
hmm
it's their year to have an opportunity, and I know they're ready for the opportunity. So I want it for them more than I want it for me. For them to have their season. So hopefully,
yeah,
man, we get through this pandemic and they push it back, but we still have a season.
yeah, definitely. Praying that everything come back in the spring. Everything just happened in the spring. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you went back to high school a little bit. I think your program has reached a great point. Like you said, you able to look at JV, and not only you gonna be good next year, but 3-4 years down the road, your team will be in good hands.
Yeah, man, it's exciting, man, because year by year you try to grow.
Hmm
And for me, this was my first year that I actually had college coaches in my gym at games and giving me their cards, texting, asking about my kids, and
hmm
reaching out, coming back to other games. So that was as a coach, that was a goal for me, and it was a good point to reach. Um, and like I said, man, for the kids, like I get calls from kids in middle school that want to come, want to do shadow days. I get
Yeah,
emails. So when you get that type of stuff happening, not that you need the reassurance, but it just lets you know that you're doing the right thing and you're going
right,
about it the right way.
right.
So it gives you a good feeling about what you're doing and just kind of pushes you to continue to do that. So I have some young kids that are incoming freshmen that have reached out that want to come. Like I said, I had a nice freshman class last year, so I got 3 or 4 sophomores that should be really good.
Mhm.
Um, I had a freshman guard that I moved up to varsity at the end of the year
Okay.
that I'm expecting big things from. So it's like I said, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's solid. I just hope and
Yeah.
pray that for my seniors and my guys that I got going out the door, I want to be able to let them go out with a bang. So
All right.
prayerfully that happens.
What advice do you give, like your junior seniors who are hearing from these coaches? Like, what's some of the advice you give some of the players about, selecting the right school for them?
Um, for me, man, I try to just tell them, don't get caught up necessarily with the D1 thing. Everybody wanted to go D1. Um, I did. I try to use myself for example. I let them know. Most of them know I played ball. I didn't
Right.
play. I went JUCO. I went D2. I still managed to have a professional career.
Right.
Just to go where they want it, where they have an opportunity to play to their game. Where I think it fits them the most. Um, and where they have an equal opportunity. Most of my guys, because our school is college preparatory, grades are good, so that's thankfully not a problem.
hmm
So when the coaches come and I let them know, like, the coaches ask, can I send it? Can I get their transcripts? I actually had to get a transcripts for Omarr today for some coaches.
Okay.
So
Okay.
those are one of the things that I'm excited about because I know I'm more than happy to send it because their
Yeah.
grades are good. But I let them know, like, yo, them coaches ask that. They ask about your character, what type of kid you are, because they know you. They know basketball, so
Right.
they want to know the other things. So just try to reiterate that to them as I still and let them know, I'm still learning. So I'm transparent with them, and as I learn, I pass the messages on to them. And
hmm
so, like I said, it's no gray area in between, and we have as much try to communicate with them as much as possible, man. And hopefully the best comes out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we talked a lot about coaching, you might have kind of answered this. Do you have a favorite moment as being a coach so far?
Ah, that's kind of tough. Um, that's tough. It's it's kind of tough to pick one.
Okay, I'll take
Man,
that. I'll take that for sure. I'll take that.
I've had a few, man. I've had a few because I'm one of those guys, and I tell my kids this, man. I get excited when they do the things on the court I know they capable of doing. I become a fan, is what I tell them. Like, yo, I get excited when y'all do. So when I don't see, and I tell them when I don't see y'all do it, then that's when I get in their ass. Like
Yeah,
I want to see that. Like I'm one of the people in the crowd that come to see that.
yeah,
I try to explain to them, with being good comes a responsibility. You can't show that you're good once or twice, and then 2 games you go missing. So,
gotta be consistent with it.
uh, yeah, it's kind of hard to pick a moment, man. I've had a few because I'm close with a lot of my kids. I would say it's kind of hard to top that first year as a varsity coach though with that team that nobody expected. I mean, we beat Lake Clifton that year. We beat Dunbar. We had some close, like not buzzer beaters, but close game winners. So that
Yeah.
was like that whole run with that group was pretty exciting because it was sort
Okay.
of unexpected. But yeah, I can't really pick one moment. I
No,
could,
I
that'd
take
be
that. I
kind
take
of
that.
hard.
I take that. So on the
Yeah.
opposite, I ain't gonna ask you the toughest moment, but is there a tough part of coaching for you, or do you just embrace it all?
No, I said, you got to take the good with the bad in anything you do. That's my approach. It's been a tough. I have had some tough ones, and if I had to pick one player, he knows it. But um, we've gotten better because of it, and that's Corell. And it's because he's so headstrong, but he's such a smart basketball player, man. He's one of them kids that he only got to see to play one time, and he knows where he belongs and everybody else.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
he's a leader by nature, but he doesn't always it doesn't always come out the correct way.
Yeah.
So we bumped heads a lot his first couple years, his first year with me, but we talked and we got through it, and we've grown so much. I think he's become a better player. He's definitely helped me become a better coach because, like I said, once you get past that, it's trust there. And
Yeah.
I call him, I FaceTime if he don't call. I say, "Dag, man, I miss you. I ain't seen you." And he'll laugh. We joke. So
Yeah.
being able to have those type of relationships, with your kids, I think that that goes past basketball, but it
Right.
also helps times 10 when it's time to go to war and get on the court.
Yeah.
Because yeah, but he's what I call my problem child.
It's a good
He's my
problem though.
problem child.
He's a good
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, but I tell people he's my problem. I take him all day, every day. He knows it. He
Yeah.
my problem, and everybody else know it. But I take him all day, every day. He know
That's respect.
it.
Last thing
Yeah.
I want to ask you, what advice would you give anybody on the ground to becoming a head coach and running their own program? What advice do you have for them?
Oh man. I would say, man, just make sure you doing it for the right reasons. Um, and not to say that anybody is out here doing it, for anything else, but have a passion for the kids. Try to help them. Teach them the right way. Be there for them on and off the court because they need it. We needed it. Um, and build your program from the ground up. Embrace what you have. Embrace
Hmm.
the players that you have. Because you're not every program doesn't have talented players. You're not going to be good every single year.
Right. Right.
So take the good with the bad. Try to develop a system that you abide by. Um, and like I said, man, be as transparent as possible with the kids. Um, just the basics, like nothing out of the norm. Things that I learned from Coach Wade.
Yeah.
Coaching wise, for me, though, I was me personally, I feel like I'm really good at putting my pieces in place. It's sort of like chess for me.
Okay.
I know where to put my guards that can handle. I know where to put my shooter. I know where to put my big. The last valuable lesson I learned from Coach Wade was trying to learn how to do things on the fly. Because we would
Yeah.
prepare for games and come in with a game plan and practice all week and get in the game, and he would switch the whole thing up and do something on the fly. I was like, yo, how you comfortable doing that?
Right.
Knowing they could win or lose the game.
Right. Right.
And I got to that point, and once I got that, and I let him know, I said, yo, I'm not gonna say I mastered it, but I got enough nerve up to go against. I've learned how to read the game per se, and I'm comfortable with switching in the middle of the game. So,
Yeah.
being flexible as a coach, man, and just at the end of the day, trying to put your kids put them first, put them in the best situation possible going forward as they grow into young men. So
Yeah. I'm glad.
that
I
would
mean,
be my advice.
I like what you said about taking the good and the bad. Like you're going to have those down years because it's easy to look. And I know, like a lot of people say like kids look on social media, see so and so, and adults do it too. So you could look at a program like, oh, they good every year. They this, they that, they this, they that. But it's like they have those down years too. You just not seeing it. So you just got to stay focused on your path. I like that.
Yeah, and what's good, man? Like you're right, social media plays such a big part. And to be honest, my kids don't really buy into that. I'm
That's
thinking,
good.
like, especially Ahmad and Carell, like they don't. That doesn't. That they don't let that affect them, which is good. Like definitely not out the norm,
Hmm.
because I'm on all of that. I'm on. Let me see what they posting. I'm one of them guys that I don't miss anything. I love it about myself, but I hate it at the same time because nothing really gets by me. But to them, they when I get them to lock in, they lock in, and that's what it is. So, but yeah, that social media is it's such a distraction for some of our kids nowadays. So it makes it hard for them at times. But
Yeah.
you know, like you said, man, gotta take the good with the bad and just kind
Yeah.
of keep pushing forward. So
Yeah. For
yeah,
sure. Hey, Coach, I definitely appreciate you hopping on here. We got to talk some basketball this evening. I definitely appreciate it.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm hoping we have something in the near future. Hopefully we have a season, man. You can get to come out and watch us play, and
Oh yeah,
we have some more dialogue, man.
yeah, yeah, for sure. As soon as when it's there, I'm there. I'm there. I didn't, like I said, I didn't get to make them early, but stuff changed, so I'm gonna make those early games now. So I'm good.
Yeah, that's all right, man. Sounds good, man. Like I said, thank you, man. Appreciate you having me on.
No question, Coach.
All right, man.
All right, you be easy.
All right.